time to sit.
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Spurs looking to get back to 500 tonight as they play the Grizz again for the second straight game in the Frostbank Center. Tip-off is set for 8:30 tonight. It's the divisional round of the playoffs this weekend. You can catch them all here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It starts tomorrow with the doubleheader at 3 as the Texans take on the Chiefs. The Lions will take on the Commanders that evening at 7. And then on Sunday, another doubleheader starting at 1:30 with the Eagles and Rams.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Good evening and welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate you listening, however you may be listening, whether that is on 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be locked in online via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you're watching on YouTube, like all of our bullpen bandits, like Fred Records, who's already in there commenting away. Feel free to join the show that way. Like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show. We stream all of our shows live on YouTube at SA Sports Star on YouTube. To me, one of the best places to watch. You can do it in, out of the car. It all freaking goes in and out. Ben Brasino already disappointed in me, and I'll explain more coming up, as he said that picking Kansas City disappoints him. Look, I think they have a chance. I think there's a certain path to a win for the Houston Texans. That path, the path is narrower than that of the Kansas City Chiefs. And if I was to lay my own hard-earned money on it, which I will be this weekend, I'm probably going to take the Texans plus the 8.5. But if I'm picking money line, I wouldn't pick Houston. I wouldn't this weekend, just because of the difficulty of the team that they're facing and the experience that that team has over this one. There's another game that I wouldn't pick them in the postseason. That would be if they end up facing Baltimore at any point in time. That's just a bad look. And that's why I'm cheering for the Bills to beat the Ravens, because if the Texans can find that small path to victory, they would end up going to Buffalo instead of going to Baltimore, which I think is a better matchup for this team. But Bills-Ravens is the matchup of the weekend between likely the first and runner-up for MVP, as Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson face off up there in Orchard Park. Earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, they talked about the game of the weekend, that being Bills-Ravens.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Bills-Ravens, the nightcap on Sunday. Game of the week.
Game of the week of the year, baby. It's our first Super Bowl.
Now, this is the game, like, for a good chunk of this season, most people have thought. Now, the Chiefs they've had the best record. The Chiefs are 15-2. They were the most successful team in terms of wins and losses. But most people all season long have thought that the Bills the Ravens and the Lions are the best teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are the teams to beat. There's a reason why the Chiefs aren't the Super Bowl favorites. It's because the thought is those three teams are better than them.
They are more talented.
I mean, the Bills beat the Chiefs, beat their ass, quite frankly. But these Bills and Ravens, this is a matchup of the next in line quarterbacks. Like you don't get games like this very often. Like we did get Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes in a AFC title game, which was awesome.
And we've had Mahomes.
We've had
Allen
Mahomes and
before,
Allen, which I don't want to see anymore, quite frankly, unless it's next week.
Yeah, I kind of do. Tell me this: what does Buffalo do to beat them? What's the one thing when you we'll do both sides of the ball on offense? What does the offense have to do against the Baltimore defense?
Josh Allen has to have a Josh Allen game.
So 300 total yards.
Yeah. And what I do trust about Josh is in big games, he is a very willing runner. And I don't think there's a defense in the league that if Josh decides he's gonna run on you that can stop him. Like I think he's that elite as a mobile quarterback, because other mobile quarterbacks historically don't have the threat of the downfield arm that Josh has. Like
he's John Elway. Anybody who watched John Elway play, he is John all over again. Same cannon arm. It's right there on defense.
They have to stop. They have to stop Derrick Henry.
Okay, I was going to say, what's your poison? Which poison are you going to pick?
You let Lamar
Henry
beat you.
Lamar. Okay,
but now I'll say this: that when the Ravens beat the snot out of the Bills in what was it week? I don't remember.
It wasn't that long ago.
It was in September.
Yeah. Oh,
it was early in the season. It was 35-10, but Matt Milano was out. Terrell Bernard was out. Like their starting linebackers were all gone. If you don't have linebackers against the Ravens, like you're SOL. Those guys are healthy now. I think that they can put. I mean, if you let the Ravens run on you all game, you've lost. If you fall behind early to the Ravens, like if you fall down 2 scores, the game is over.
So let's go on the other side. We know what Josh Allen is, and I'm the Baltimore defense. What do I do?
You spy Josh Allen, and you hope that you make tackles.
Yeah,
I mean, you really do. And I mean, the weapon. I mean, the weapons for the Bills downfield aren't elite. Like Amari Cooper is no longer like a top tier receiver. Like Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman. These are good players, not great players. Right. But I also think that if you watched the Bills last week, the Ravens are probably thinking, we want to force them to throw the ball down the field, because the Bills last week, it was spamming the run. All they did was just run the ball over and over and over again and have these long, drawn-out possessions. And that's the scary thing about the Bills and the Ravens, for that matter, is both of them have the capability of being explosive offenses because of who their quarterbacks are.
But they prefer
for the most part,
play drive.
They want to drive it and drive it and drive it. The Bills have to have sustained drive. And quite frankly, I'll project right now, whoever loses the turnover battle in this game loses the game. If you give the ball away, you're going to lose,
because you won't see it again for 8 minutes.
Yep. You can't afford to give away possessions. You can't.
Who can Buffalo afford to win without? Can you take Cook out of the game and still win? Can you take tight end out of the game, or one of the tight ends out of the game and still win? I mean, is there somebody apart from Josh Allen that has to come to play? Is it Cook?
I mean, that would be the ideal guy. But I really don't. The Bills are so dependent. They're more dependent on one player than any team in the league. Maybe the Chiefs. Maybe the Chiefs are.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, the comparisons go back to Elway yet again, because he was alone on those Denver teams. There was nobody of any substance on that offense but him.
It's like Ed McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean, there just wasn't anything there. And I feel so much like this is the time for Josh and the Buffalo to take that step. They don't have the best guys, but they got the best guys to do what they're supposed to do right now.
Yeah. I also love that they're playing this game in Buffalo, and it is going to be cold. It's going to be miserable.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
And Josh Allen seems to thrive in it. Lamar is going to be out there wearing his shiesty, the thing over his face, cover up his nose, all that stuff. Yeah. Josh Allen's going to be out there smiling. And I dig that.
I said before the Notre Dame Penn State game for Notre Dame, if not now, when? At some point, you're going to have to take that.
One of these two teams is going to take that step.
But are both of them to the point where there is no win? I mean, I still feel like there's still meat on the bone for Buffalo if they do go south. If something goes bad this year, I think you got 4 more years of a stellar Allen and you can retool.
Well, the thing is,
I'm starting to wonder about Baltimore. How much longer can you rely on this?
The Ravens got revitalized when they got Derrick Henry, I think. The Bills, if you remember, the Bills were not expected to be as good as they are this year. The Bills were picked 3rd in the AFC East behind the Jets and the Dolphins. Like, people thought the Bills were going to be like a 10-win team this season, 9-win team. And the Bills just, because of Josh Allen.
And the absence of, I think Diggs leaving, everybody just took a
they just changed.
Went, now we can play.
They changed how they do it. And it anytime you lose like your best offensive weapon, it sucks in a way because it makes you less capable of doing certain things. But what it did was you take the bitching and crying out of the locker room. Like, if you're on this team and you want it to be about you, it's going to be very difficult because Josh Allen is that dude. Like, and if you're not Josh Allen, like, no one can, like, the idea that a receiver was playing with Josh Allen and complaining about it is so mind blowing to me. Like, you don't ever hear anyone complaining about playing with Mahomes or Joe Burrow. Like, that's why I said Stephon Diggs can go. If you're complaining about having one of the best quarterbacks in the world, beat it. Good luck.
I think if they do lose, and in my mind, they probably will, because I think Baltimore is just going to win it all. I don't want this to be a team that, the fandom goes, all right, we got to change everything. This isn't it. I think continuity is key here. I don't know if Allen can play any better than he is this year, though. I don't know. I think he's able to maintain what he's doing, but I don't think he can bring anything more to the table than he has. He should get the MVP. He's been the best player in the league, or at least the most valuable player in the league all year long. You've reached your pinnacle, man. I don't think Josh Allen can play any better. If he's going to carry you alone, this is the last opportunity to do it.
3 straight seasons, the Bills have lost in this round. Won a wild card round and then lost in this round. They lost to the Chiefs twice. They lost to the Bengals once. They've only had one AFC championship game run in this stretch, and when they showed up there, they got their ass kicked by the Chiefs.
Well,
but this is the time, man. This is the time for them to make it happen. And I think I don't have I'm not going to make a prediction on this game. I don't have a good feel for how it's going to go. And a lot of it is I am emotionally invested in it. I'm not going to have a single dollar on this game. I refuse to, because I want to watch it.
Maybe the under, maybe in there.
Yeah,
it's
a scary under though with those two quarterbacks, isn't it?
Yeah, this is going to be such an extraordinary game. It could very well be the game of the year.
I hope it is, man. I hope it is, and I hope the Bills win. I've said all year long, I think the Ravens are the worst stylistic matchup for Buffalo. Like, this is a dreadful matchup for the Bills, but they are so much healthier now than they were when they played them the first time. I think it's going to be a much different game. And again, like I said about the key to the Ravens is you can't let them jump out to a big lead early. If you do that, it's just such an uphill climb that it's difficult to get out of that hole. And without, if Henry's not running for 200, you're not going to be buried all immediately. So the avalanche doesn't start. If you can keep that early avalanche from starting, you're in good shape. Now, the other thing is, historically, in the history of the NFL, the best quarterback against the spread in the first half of football games in the history of time is Lamar Jackson. The best quarterback against the spread in the second half in the history of time is Joshua Allen.
See, I'd rather have the second half. I mean, I'm the guy closing strong.
Well, that's when you've got Josh Allen, you feel like that you're never behind too much.
Right.
Like, you can come back. And that there is something to that. But again, like I said, when you get down to the Ravens and the Ravens jump on you early, they're tough to hold down early. So that's fascinating to me.
I get the sense that you described what's going to happen. My sense is Baltimore's going to start hot. They're going to come out a lot like Denver did. They're going to come swinging their hardest and maybe get a lead, and they're going to hold it till about the middle of the fourth when the Ravens suddenly start to question if they're the Ravens. But before, and Allen becomes the Josh Allen of before, and it gets crazy late. That's what I expect to see.
It's going to be probably the best game of the weekend. They're great teams, great quarterbacks, and yeah, Buffalo wasn't healthy the first time they played each other. You would hope home field advantage helps to change some of those things, and regardless of the outcome of this game, I think the MVP is Josh Allen because, yes, Lamar Jackson has more more statistical greatness this season. If you just put their numbers side by side, Josh Allen A sat out a lot of fourth quarters this season, and B, as AJ said, was projected to finish third in the AFC East alone because letting go of Stephon Diggs, losing Gabriel in free agency, cutting most of their secondary this offseason. Like they had massive roster turnover, and Josh Allen, who outside of James Cook has been kind of alone offensively, has elevated with Khalil Shakir and managed to lift this team to be what nobody expected them to be. Baltimore was expected to win the AFC, be the number 1 seed when you added Derrick Henry. Instead, they're coming from the 3 seed. And we're never close to challenging for the 1 seed. Buffalo at least made it interesting until Kansas City iced it late against Houston. We'll talk about that Houston-Kansas City game coming up in a little bit. But first, the Dallas Cowboys completed an interview for their head coaching search. Do they have their man? Or is this just beginning? John Machota joined the Blitz a little bit earlier today. We'll play part of that interview for you and what Diana Rossini said on the Scoop City podcast about how the Cowboys coaching search unfolded. It's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the playoffs are set, the finals are in place. We'll look at what's coming in the NFL.
And the championship game of college football will be played. We'll discuss the matchup, see who we think's taking home the big trophy. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Frankly, would you like to rap at the Testicle Festival? Can you give me a little rap?
You want me to spit a rap?
Yeah, I want you to spit a rap.
About balls? Yo, Testicle Festival. It's like an extraterrestrial. Widen my eyes when I see them calf fries.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, I'm Manny Jr. from Rock's Discount Vitamins. If you're looking to build muscle, strength, and boost athletic performance, check out our huge selection of anabolic pro-hormones. These powerful supplements provide your body with essential nutrients for muscle growth, faster recovery, fat loss, and even improved bone health and libido. Visit one of our 12 San Antonio locations or go online at rocksdiscountvitamins.com to learn more. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for your continued support. rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9047. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9047. That's 800-575-9047. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
AJ Hoffman here from the Morning Huddle for my friends out at SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house, located at 281 and Bitters. They have tournaments going every single day, guys. Follow them on Instagram. It's at SA_Card House. You'll get all the details on what tournaments are running that day. And if you're not a tournament guy, hey, no problem. They've got cash games running 24/7. It's a great environment, great atmosphere, great dealers, great people. I can't forget the great food. Foster's Bar and Grill, attached to SA Card House, has some of the finest food in the city, and you don't have to be a member to dine there. If you're looking for a place to play cards, look no further. It's 281 and Bitters. SA Card House is the place you want to play. Always cash to be made. Get on out to SA Card House. I will see you on the tables.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thank you for joining me this evening, however you're joining, whether that's on the radio, whether that's online at sasportstar.com, or if you're watching and commenting on YouTube, just search at SA Sports Star and feel free to call in. I know Ben Brasino says he's disappointed in me for picking Kansas City over the Houston Texans. I will explain my thought process and the way I do think the Texans can win that game, because I do think they can win that game. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to tell y'all that I'm picking somebody that I don't see the easiest path to victory for. I'm telling you who I think's winning and why I think they're winning. And Kansas City has been here. They've done that. I'll explain it all later. But I'm also explaining why I think the Dallas Cowboys may have interviewed their future head coach today and completed that interview. Part of the reasoning is they weren't supposed to be looking for a coach. And if you believe Diana Rossini, who is plugged in from The Athletic on her Scoop City podcast, dropped the bomb today that I don't think they thought that they were going to have an opening.
Jerry was not expecting Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys to go separate ways. The plan was to bring him back. They did not have a plan in place here. So a lot of this was scrambling, from what I can gather, of just, I need to figure out how to fix this quickly.
Wow.
And so now we're seeing, the coaches get called in. Robert Saleh is going to meet with them over the weekend. Leslie Frazier, right? We'll start to see more names. Kellen Moore is going to meet with them on Friday before the divisional round. So he's got his eyes on Kellen Moore. But this Deion factor, I think, is going to weigh over the NFL until they make a decision on who's going to be the next head coach.
And they have to make that decision now that they seemingly were unprepared for the fact that they might have an opening and that Mike McCarthy may scoff at the offer that Jerry tried to give to Mike McCarthy about renewing his contract, and that he should just willingly accept anything that was put in front of him when he was going to have options on the table. And as a matter of fact, teams were looking to interview him before he was even contracted, run up. So, look, there are a million things that could go wrong. And trust me, Deion Sanders, at least for this industry, for our job, would be absolutely spectacular in terms of coverage, stories, headlines. Every single day, somebody says something else. They're both brash and emboldened and just out there with their comments. I don't know how well that works out in a work setting. I don't know how much Jerry would like responding to Deion and Deion responding to Jerry week in and week out, as they're both going through their media. It would likely turn into public sparring sessions behind a microphone. And I can imagine behind closed doors, because Deion has his way, his vision of how something should be run. And Jerry's going to have his way and his vision of how something should be done. And I don't know that Jerry wants the boat rocked as much as Deion might rock the boat. Just look right now up in Boulder. Needs more NIL money. Needs this. What if Jerry wants a guy really bad in free agency? Deion. And Jerry is like, I'm sorry, we're not spending money in free agency. Or if he wants a player in the draft really bad. With a guy like Kellen Moore, there are a couple of things that come through. And I think Cowboy fans misremember who Kellen Moore is. Because the Cowboys offense was good under Kellen Moore. It was top 10. It was top 5. They were in the top 10 in rushing in the NFL. And they were in the top 10 and 5 in attempts with Kellen Moore calling plays for the Dallas Cowboys, despite Mike McCarthy saying they needed to run the damn ball. You know what else they were? Close in playoff games. 2 last-second losses to the San Francisco 49ers, teams that went to the Super Bowl and probably would have went to multiple if it not for an elbow injury to Brock Purdy in one of them. So, yeah. What was Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy had the brakes beaten off him at home in the wild card round to a 7th seed. You misremember who Kellen Moore was as an offensive coordinator because of comments by Mike McCarthy, followed by a terrible situation in Los Angeles. Because Brandon Staley was a bad head coach. And they were in a bad situation over there. I know he had tons of weapons and stuff like that, but it didn't work. But in 4 of his 6 seasons, he has had a top offense in the league. And he has had multiple number 1 ranked offenses and scoring offenses. And once again, he has a top offense in the league. Back in Philadelphia, where he's learning new wrinkles to whatever he does, I'm sure. And the real fact of the matter is that if you look realistically at the Dallas Cowboys moving forward, the team is tied to Dak Prescott until 2028. Unless you're getting a Ben Johnson, it behooves you to find the best possible solution that can bring the best out of Dak Prescott, because you're stuck with him. You can't move on from him. You can't cut him. He has a no trade clause, and anything you do with him would incur a cap penalty of over $100+ million against the salary cap in dead money. So, yeah, I think Deion will be a fantastic head coach in the NFL, just not the way things are currently set up in Dallas. You need to maximize Dak Prescott because, like it or not, you're stuck with Dak Prescott at quarterback until 2028, when is the first real opportunity you have to get out from under that contract, when it'll only cost you, I believe, about $6 million in dead cap money, which is doable. Other than that, you got to find a way to make that work. The money's been paid. The signature's on the contract. The ink is dry, and you're stuck there. So go ahead and do what's best for the team by trying to find the best possible situation for Dak Prescott. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I haven't gotten into it yet because we're going to talk Texans in a second, but Matthew wanted to call in and talk about Texans Chiefs. What's going on, Matthew?
Hey, how you doing, players? No, I was a little dumbfounded hearing some Texans fans are out there, talking about they have that they think they're going to win. I mean, they have a chance.
They have a chance.
But it's going to be, you got to account for, they don't have nobody. I know they're out Petrie, they're strong safety. Let's just start there. So ain't nobody really out there guarding Kelsey. Let's just start there. And the defense that they have, they're going to need to be up by 10. It's just, I don't see it happening. I don't see Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes putting that team, and let alone Spagnuolo and that defense, putting them in position. And then with C.J. Stroud playing like how he's playing, come on now.
If we get last week's right before the halftime C.J. Stroud for a full game, I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We have a shot. We have a shot. For sure we have a shot. But no, definitely, I you know what? I got a couple good friends who are relative Texans fans. I just don't want those fans turning into Cowboys fans. But you know that.
Look.
But we just can't have it. We can't have it happen.
I make it very known that I have fandoms. I am a fan of the Houston Texans. I'm a fan of the Houston Astros. I'm a fan of the Houston Rockets. I will always tell you straight what I think when it comes down to any of these teams, including the other teams. I don't want anybody to ever think that my decisions or the information I give you is skewed in any way other than my personal belief of how I see a game, and I try not to let any fandom ever blur that line. And I try and shoot it to everybody straight every way I see it. Last week, I saw a path to win against the Chargers. I felt really good playing at home against a team that, has a quarterback that doesn't perform well in the postseason, and you could take advantage of a team that allows you to stay in games. And they allowed the Texans to hang around by not capitalizing off of some early turnovers on them, and the Texans ended up turning it on late and running away with that game. The Chiefs are a different animal. The Chiefs aren't going to beat themselves, especially not in the postseason. And if you've been paying attention to Chiefs football like I have, you will notice that the offense that had struggled for a large part of the season that allowed them to just kind of barely squeak out wins has progressively gotten better and better and better. And that goes over that, 3 games, an 11-day stretch that they played, where the Texans were a part of that gauntlet. And the Chiefs offense, they didn't give the Texans a chance. They were close in that game, but they salted away the game with Kareem Hunt late because they didn't let the Texans get the ball back. Because the offense is starting to click. And then you saw it again on Christmas Day against the Steelers, where they blew them out. The score was a little bit closer than the game indicated. But Patrick Mahomes, with the return of Hollywood Brown, moving Xavier Worthy into the slot where he is more attuned right now to be successful, and having D-Hop on the outside, you could tell Travis Kelce's getting more involved because the pieces are all starting to fit, and Isaiah Pacheco's coming back healthy. They've just simmered all year long. They're hitting their stride at just the right time, and those are the the teams that you like when it comes to postseason football.
No, absolutely. I know with Hopkins clearing now, opening us up for Kelsey, and then just have space for Worthy, and then just that Pacheco coming back. I mean, and Kareem Hunt's playing well. I don't see it. But I guess my last question is, it's about the Cowboys. What's going on with the Cowboys? You think they're going to get T. Higgins, or what's going on with that? Who do you think they need?
Well,
They need another target.
They do need another target, and I will tell you this: when it comes to the Cowboys, if I'm placing odds on where T. Higgins is going to end up, number one on my odds board is probably going to be New England. New England has money. They need a weapon for Drake May, and they have a brand new head coach in Mike Vrabel. So that would be number one of where I think T. Higgins is going. I don't think the Cowboys can afford T. Higgins. You need to look lower on the list of potential free agent additions, cheaper team players that might come at sort of a discount. And one of those players might be playing against Houston this weekend. You look at both DeAndre Hopkins and at Hollywood Brown. If they're looking to potentially move on and won't cost $30 million, they'll be closer to the, possibly 10 to 15 range. That could be an option that they go. But even more so than that, I think they draft. I think if you're looking at somebody like a Luther Burden in the first round, or maybe trading back in the first round, acquiring more picks and finding a player later in the draft. And I'm going to go through more draft tape and grades and give you better ideas of players that I like. Matthew Golden is a player that I think in the second round could be very, very intriguing for Dallas or Houston, who is going to be without Tank Dell and needs to supplement weapons that they aren't going to have next year. Those Matthew Golden is a player that I like. Luther Burden is a player I like. There are players coming up in the draft that I think are going to be, especially the way Dallas could lean this offseason, more so than testing free agency.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to. I mean, they did the free agency, the Brandon Cooks thing. And it's just they need weapons bad, and it's like Jerry Jones is like. I mean, I don't even know what they're. I mean, this is the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I'm a Packers fan. I mean, how don't the Cowboys have weapons? I mean, I know that they signed. I know that the Dak Prescott, they should have signed it.
I mean, they do.
Something with that. We know that was a mistake, but legitimate weapons, though. I mean, Rico Dowdle's good.
CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb. Jake Ferguson is nice, but
they just need a secondary receiver.
Yep.
They didn't have that for a good chunk of the season, especially once they lost Brandon Cooks for a good chunk of the season.
Yeah, well, we'll see, Pledge. I hope the Texans win. I don't see it, but I'm gonna be rooting for the Texans. Man.
I see a path to victory. It's just not a very clear one, my man.
Yes, sir. You have a good one, Pledge. You have a good weekend, brother. Love you.
Yep. Not a problem, man. Love you, Matt. Thanks for calling in. You're welcome to call back anytime. More of your phone calls, plus we'll get into that Texans-Chiefs game coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 1/13 through 1/24. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. While supplies last. See store or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully.
playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money on your sports action. Me and 10 million other people are playing every day, and now's the time to do it. Have you ever heard of this? You've got a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your season all game long, and now 1,000 times your cash. Heck, I've been a Prize Picks player for a long time. I've not seen this. 1,000 times your cash. It's playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the fun in the last few weeks of the football season. Prize Picks is the best place to play, up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get the action on the sports that you're playing, and now you can get up to 1,000 times your cash. Join over 10 million members. Play today. And if you sign up today, you get up to $50 instantly when you play. Use the code ALAMO. Sign up today for 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks. Run your game.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9047. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9047. That's 800-575-9047. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate y'all for riding along with me today. We'll get into some of Manu's comments from yesterday and what he had to say to the Blitz and how we should interpret that. But Texans take on the Chiefs tomorrow, 3 o'clock. You can catch the game right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. It is presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Starts at 3 o'clock with the pregame right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And like I said, there is a path to victory for the Houston Texans. All those things I just said about the Chiefs playing well, being healthy, hitting their stride at the right time, all true. And one of the reasons I've picked in my prime picks the Chiefs to beat the Texans. But I can see the Texans winning this game. There's a lot of time off. They haven't played a meaningful game in about 21 days. They had the bye week this week. They treated the final week of the season like a bye week, and they haven't played a real meaningful game since a week before that. So they're 3 weeks into this bye week, basically. Could they come out sluggish? Yes. Is there an ability to capitalize if things don't go well early? Absolutely. That defense that showed up against the Chargers. You've got the locksmith and Kamari Laster and Derek All-Pro Stingley on the outside, Kalen Bullock in the secondary. Like, they've got the players on the backside to create turnovers. And plus, when you look at Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter and their ability to create pressure. Look, last week against the Chargers was the first time that front seven in its entirety have been healthy and together and playing on the field at the same time. And you take Daniil Hunter along with Will Anderson Jr., and then you add Danico Autry into the mix to create havoc up front. And then you have Christian Harris on the back end, along with Azeez Al-Shaair, the green dot, calling the plays. The defense looks completely different. Remember, Azeez was not there for that first Chiefs game. Along with Henry To'oTo'o, that is a difference-making defense. And as we saw, that defense can win you a game. That is a Super Bowl caliber defense when it plays like that. So yes, can they win? Absolutely. But experience also matters. Home field matters. The elements matter. And if I'm asking you, currently, who are you taking? If I had to say, you've got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes or CJ Stroud and Bobby Slowick, who do you feel more comfortable can lead you to a victory? Let's say the defenses are awash with McDuffie and Jones and Spagnuolo. Let's say the defenses are basically awash. If you don't lean Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, you're a fool. Because they've only proven it 6 straight years they've been to an AFC title game. They've won 3 Super Bowls. They're going for their 3rd straight, which hasn't been done in the Super Bowl era. Yeah, I'll be at the Rue Pub tomorrow. That's where I plan on watching the game. I just lean to the experience in the home field and all the other contributing factors. And the fact that their playmakers are getting healthy while Houston's number 2 receiver is either going to be Xavier Hutchinson, John Mechie, or Robert Woods. And I love Nico Collins. He's a difference maker. But they'll need more than that. And Joe Mixon, although he's going to play, ankle injury, not fully healthy, can you get the run game going? I hope so. I hope they utilize him in the passing game more. I think he needs to be utilized in the passing game more. So yes, there is a path to victory for the Houston Texans. It's just the water's not very clear. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, we'll put a bow on the show. Manu Ginobili was talking about these late game collapses for the Spurs yesterday with the Blitz when they were out at King of Paddle. Might be surprised on how it mirrors up with what I've been talking about for the last week or so. We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pledge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the playoffs are set, the finals are in place. We'll look at what's coming in the NFL.
And the championship game of college football will be played. We'll discuss the matchup, see who we think's taking home the big trophy. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself, testosterone therapy may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment you'll get with the experts at Synergenics Testosterone Weight Loss. Synergenics has over a decade of TRT experience. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
It is playoff time. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. You know Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Be like me and 5 million other happy players winning money watching games with their Pick'em game, where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. You can cook up fire entries for a shot to win real cash prizes all playoff long. You can even take football and basketball and mix them together. Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with my promo code STAR, and deposit now and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code STAR. Sign up today.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliate. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com, on YouTube at SA Sports Star. You can like, subscribe, comment along with the show. You can also feel free to call in at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I appreciate all y'all for rolling through tonight as we get set to take you into the weekend. But yesterday, it was very interesting. Manu Ginobili had joined the Blitz with Jason and Joe, and they talked about a multitude of things. You know, being away from basketball, his time around the facility, what he's seen from Victor Wembanyama, and the greatness and wow factors that you get from Wemby on a nightly basis. But he also talked about kind of these late game collapses from this Spurs team. And it was very interesting what he had to say. And when asked if there was any advice that he would give these younger players to help them in these late game collapses.
I mean, you can give all the advice you want. It's just a process, and you got to mature. You got to be there. You're going to make those mistakes. And whenever we make the playoffs again, we're going to make silly mistakes and we're going to be frustrated, but it is what it is. There's nothing that can accelerate time, and it's painful to watch, like, you know, early in the third quarter yesterday. But it takes time. We did it too, many times early on. And then we started to mature and understand, and those type of experience help you next time you're in the same situation to remember and not to want to make the same mistakes. So it sucks, but it is part of the process, and we're still a young team. And the fact that we have players like CP and Harrison will, help us make less mistakes. Like, the fourth quarter against the Lakers, in which, they've been there, they've done that, and we rely on them. So it's part of the process, as I said, and being at 500 now, I think it's a good record. Sometimes you always feel like you could have won 4 or 5 more games, but I think we're in a good spot, and we are showing great development. We are thrilled with Steph, what Steph Castle what he's doing on the court. Of course, Victor and Devin being healthy again. So I think we're in a great situation.
They're in a great situation. And it sounds like he believes in this team and the future at hand for this team. Remember, Manu and Tony, and Manu was an older player coming into the league anyway, after playing years of professional ball over in Europe. So that's not the case with this team. They're not walking into ready-made situations with a whole bunch of vets. They just literally brought in their first real vets with Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes this year. And you're seeing the effect that that's having on this team because they are 500 when they haven't been anything close to that in recent years, when they were relying on only the youth. I mean, you look at the Thunder and the Rockets and the Grizzlies, all at the top of the standings. You look at the Warriors, Suns, Kings, all at the bottom of the standings. I mean, it's a process that young teams have to go through, and then you see when it clicks, like it did for the Thunder and the Rockets, all of a sudden it can lead to an extent. The question I have is, are the people in place what you need in the front office with Brian Wright and now even Mitch Johnson when you look at some of the rotations and questions about their ability to adjust? This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. I appreciate all y'all for riding along. Don't forget, Brew Pub Monday for the national championship game. The Blitz will be there live from 2 to 6, but we'll see you early, 6 a.m. on the morning huddle on Monday as they get you caught up after a massive divisional round weekend of football. Appreciate all y'all for rolling through. We'll see you on Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, huh?
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Now at Staples. Find hot deals on HP, America's most trusted printer brand. Whether you need to print invoices or eye-catching presentations, HP delivers with exceptional speed, reliability, and vibrant color. And with HP, replenishing ink is simple. Find HP ink cartridges in store at Staples or subscribe to HP Instant